every person is individual, and every person requires a different way of working and training with them. So finding good trainers, be able to think outside the box and work alongside the person is very key. Yeah, my name's Colin. I've worked in and around with people with disability for over 30 years. Mainly started in employment, so I'm assisting people to find mainstream employment and not supported employment. I then moved on to working under the NDIS with support coordination and psychosocial recovery coaching. And I've worked in that area for the last 7-8 years. I've also been a martial artist for the last 13 years, and I teach a lot of people with mental health and autism, as well as I have one blind person that I work with as well. 13 years, I've been doing martial art for 13 years. So my local area around the Horsley Park area, so I teach the martial arts in the southwest of Sydney, so Preston's, Holsworthy, Campbelltown, so we cover a range across the southwest Sydney. And we also have dojos across pretty much the whole of Sydney. So we cover all the local areas. Born and bred in the southwest of Sydney, so lived there all my life. Live in the West Hoxton area, so worked in the southwest and western Sydney most of my life. Always helping participants in that area. Live local, breathe local, and just helping where we can. So doing a lot of research when my niece decided to be a BT. So I started researching a lot of different organisations around PT and how I could help her grow. Basically come across Fitness Enhancement and went best of my world, best of her world, let's sort of make a move and let's see if we can combine the two and organically let it grow with a company that already established and well known, so that we can help more people than what we are individually. So for myself, I try to walk at least 5 to 10 k's every day, eat healthily. I'm looking at teaching my students in martial art to maintain their fitness, or a portion of the class is designated to the fitness side, so push-ups, or everything that they love. But to be able to maintain joints, mobility, flexibility, so a big interest in that side to keep everyone moving and moving forward, so that keeps me moving forward and progressing myself in the Dan levels of being a martial artist. So finding good trainers for people with disabilities is a very hard thing, because sometimes there's a perception that a person with a disability may not be able to do the same as an everyday person. I don't like the word normal, so I don't try to use it. But every person is individual, and every person requires a different way of working and training with them. So working with a vision impaired participant that most of the people that wanted to work with him only wanted to drive him places, where I'll go and work with him and we'll walk 10 k's every time we go, and so he wants to get out and walk. So we do that. We do 10k walks every week. We have working with people that are half paralysed, just working on we use attachment to help with the paralysed part, to be able to keep momentum in the muscles and that as well. So just working, you know, and I think finding that person that will just, you know, be able to think outside the box and work alongside the person is very key. Well, I think what drives me when I first got into disabilities, when I started working with people with disabilities, it was a time where a person with a disability that was on a disability support pension was required to sit a panel to actually be allowed to look for work. And I was asked to be part of that panel. And the young gentleman had been in an accident where he became a paraplegic in the building industry. He was no longer able to do that, but retrained to in admin work. And when he sat the panel, and this was the first panel I ever sat on, the panel members from a couple of other government departments said no, he couldn't work, even though there was nothing stopping him from working, except for the wheelchair that he was in. So I call it a bet, but it was they dared me, but I made it that I would be able to find him work within 2 weeks, and got him work that day. So that's what drives me to help people with disabilities.